Awesome. And I guess, one of the last things I really wanted to ask about is this whole question of engineer well-being themselves. If an engineer constantly has to be, worry about things going down at 2 a.m. in the morning when, there wasn't a deployment, if they have to worry about, issues occurring, if they have to, this also ties in with things like their development environment. If it takes a week for them to get set up with a development environment, if they can't just spin it down and spin it back up, and that is what stresses them out. That's what keeps them up. That keeps them in the office late at night, or distracts them from. Now we're in this whole work from home environment. It stops them being able to go and relax in the afternoons. These things are also challenges to, I guess, individual well-being. They're also ultimately affect the business, right? They ultimately roll up to those North Star metrics, things like staff retention, things like that. So I'm just curious as to what you feel the role of quality is in ensuring engineer well-being, ensuring developer satisfaction, these types of things.
I believe there was, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was a report on why do engineers leave their company? What gives engineers satisfaction? And there are quite a few lists. I forgot the whole list, the top level ones as well. But it basically boils down into, if you are a fast moving company, if you are delivering value to your customers, that gives quite a bit of satisfaction to the engineers themselves. But you need to make sure that you communicate all of these. You need to make sure that they are learning, they are improving, there are more opportunities. I would put a successful company usually has not success but satisfied engineers. It's correlated. It's really interesting, but if you people would assume like in the premise where you just like whip people and then they work hard and then you build a pyramid and like that's success. Making people suffer, making your employees suffer or engineers suffer, and you can actually build a product on top of it, which is grand. That's not the case actually. The case is, if the engineers are happy, if they're satisfied with their life, if they're learning a lot, if they have challenges in their lives, if there isn't lots of politics discussions, so they can focus on their work. All of these actually affect your company's success. Um, there are different kind of measurements to do these. I would say a few measurements are like, most of these are qualitative measurements, so they're not quantitative. You can't actually have a single metric which will represent it. The qualitative metrics, again, it boils down into either one-on-ones. You can have lots of one-on-ones, have lots of quality metrics inside of it. Some of them have it, not all of them. You can do surveys to engineers periodically, so that you can measure their satisfaction. If you ask an engineer, would you recommend this company to your friend? If they say no, you know that they will eventually churn. Like, they won't even recommend their friends. If you're working at an amazing company, you want all your friends to come here and you'll have such a great time. You want to share that experience with your friends. Um, that's like how I would think regarding. I can go down and boil where the bottlenecks are. I will have assumptions. Okay, these are the top level. What do you call list? You can find these lists in, I believe it was State of Engineering 2020. I'm not sure if that's correct, but there's like quite a big list. I think it's like 10 to 15 different questions. You can ask these questions to your engineers. Then you can actually do other questioning, or questions such as how like is it easy to do a deployment? Is it easy to do a spin up a development environment? Do you actually are satisfied? These are all different kinds of questions. One of them is affecting like the engineering process that we talk, which is like North Star metrics that we talked, the four accelerate metrics or four key metrics. The other one is completely health, engineering health, but both of them actually affect into the engineering satisfaction. And That's how I will put it. Make sure that your engineers are satisfied, they will produce better, and the satisfaction is learning, they're being challenged, they are being listened inside their organization. They're not ignored, so they feel included within that organization, and they want to make this place a better place. That's what we want to achieve for. Once you hit that, all the other metrics actually boil down there. It's not the pyramids. It's a happy environment which will produce a really good and successful product.